Sorry, no solo cast. They're so disappointed that you're here, Matt.
I know.
It makes
Yeah,
me
I can
feel
leave. Be happy to
I
leave.
just need some help to stay on track here. Otherwise, it's me talking literally for an hour and a half straight without taking a breath. So anyway, we're back at HQ. I'm wire to wire here today. I just did a wash and talk for the OG channel on the GT3 RS, and then I did we're doing. I think you guys are gonna like this video, but I talked about this before where we got two really janked up pressure washers.
Yeah, they were pretty ugly. The two you got. Right?
Two lessons learned here.
Right.
One, I forgot to check to see if they bought them from me. Which neither one of them did. Neither one of them bought anything from me.
Right.
And then two, the one is not a 1322; it's a 1622.
Right. Well, we got two new customers then.
Hopefully, they should. They owe me. So if you guys are listening, you should be buying some crap because I hooked you up. And so the pressure washers, what we're doing is we're breaking them down. Really, I wanted to do a servicing video, and the only way to make a servicing video interesting or entertaining is to do the transformation.
Right.
So they're going from jank to they're going to be legit.
Yeah.
The oil was literally like yum yum sauce. It was like white sauce from a Japanese, hibachi. It was so thick. It just kept running out. The oil of a pressure washer would come out in like 5 seconds.
Right.
It was coming out for like 5 minutes straight, just like creamy.
So was
ice
it just
cream.
failed, or you think it was contaminated with something?
It has 8,000 plus hours on it in about 3 years of use, and it never changed the oil. And so what happens is it never changed the seal kit. And so the hard water and the seals get kind of worn out, and so water gets past the seals, gets into the oil, and then it turns into that white milky stuff. And he said, look, I never changed the oil. He's like, I have the seal kit sitting here. I've just never done it. The thing just keeps plugging away.
Yeah, as long as it works, right?
right. So we're going to fix all that stuff and make it look pretty.
Yeah, you've been back to back to back today, right? You were here first thing in the morning. You beat me in. You were here first thing in the morning washing a car.
Yeah, I needed a day off from the gym anyway. I gotta adjust my training because everything hurts, and because I ramped it up, now I'm doing less.
Right.
Because I ramped up. It's really the running volume, just too much running volume. My freaking psoas, my groin hurts. My hip now hurts, and then it's like I need to take days off.
Right.
Whereas before I wasn't running every day, so I didn't have to take any days. I stayed on schedule. So I'm probably now running less than I was when I was doing lower volume.
Right.
So when I was doing more rucking and just running a couple of miles. So I'm going to ratchet it back.
So what's your plan? How many days a week are you going to run now?
So I'm just going to go by feel. That's what I was doing before. Yeah. I stopped over planning it. Now I'm all stressed out because the Runna app, I'm 3 days behind, and I try to double time it, and then I break, and then I get 4 days behind. And then I have to cherry pick the shorter runs, and I'm missing the speed work that I just don't like doing all that. I just want to go out and run, whatever feels. I want to run fast if I feel fast, and slow if I feel slow. I don't want anybody telling me what to do.
Right.
So I recognize that. That happens to me where I get obsessed, and then I can't function, can't shut it off. So I'm going to go back to the CrossFit when I feel like it. You work out on the back porch when I feel like it, old school, just weightlifting stuff.
Weights, yeah.
Because what I like to do is just skip the gym, get up, do some back and buys, go run 2 miles, ruck right after it, cold plunge sauna, and I call that like a day.
Right.
Whereas I'm like, I have a 9-mile run I got to do.
So then how many on your normal day, how many active calories is that roughly?
If I did that combo, that would be about 1,100.
Right. That's really strong.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if I wasn't, like if I didn't run long or I didn't, the ruck is what burns most calories.
Right.
Just sustained zone 1, just walking. And I don't even think it's taken much into account the fact you got weight on your shoulders.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't know.
But the beauty of the rucking is it's low impact. I'm not inflamed. I'm not hurting. And then I can do that fasted. That's the other problem with doing this high volume running. I go out and run 9 miles.
You got to have calories.
I can't. I've got to eat a bunch of food. And so now my everything's just off.
Yeah.
So I just need to. Who cares about the darn 5K I'm going to run in? But I was just looking for some motivation. I had fun.
The funny thing is, if you're not sore and tired, you'll actually be faster on the race. Right?
So the work I did is not worthless.
Right.
Like if I go out and run now my 2 mile or 2.5 mile split, I'm probably going to run it in 14 minutes.
Right.
Where I was running it in 17, 18 when I started, 20 when I started this. Not 20, but 18, when I started doing it. If I wasn't feeling great. Well, now not feeling great would be running a 16,
Yep.
It's crazy to think people are running 5Ks in 16, so but that's not going to be me. I don't think I have it. I mean, even if I train like crazy, because I did a 2 mile time trial, and like I ran a 6:50, 7:04, and like that was everything I had.
Yeah, you need 50 less pounds of body weight to be in those types of speeds.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's just my legs don't have the juice.
Right.
Yeah. And maybe it's because I'm overtrained. So anyway, I'm going to go back to what was working great, and I'm going to stop pushing so hard.
All right. Well, James actually has a good question for you. I think that dovetails into that. Hey, Matt, can you give a rundown on your carnivore diet? I'll put this up. And supplements you take on a daily basis and how it's been working for you.
So I wake up in the morning, and I'm generally fasting until like 1, 2 o'clock, something like that. Well, just as long as I can hold out.
So when does your fast start in the evening? Is it like 8 o'clock? Is it like
probably
7
around
o'clock?
8,
About 8.
7 or 8 o'clock. And so I like to work out fasted. It just feels better. So in a normal day, I wake up and I go to the gym, go to CrossFit, and then depending on how I'm feeling, I may come right home and go for a ruck, or a run right after CrossFit. But usually I'm going to go and I'm going to, jump in the sauna and cold plunge and kind of knock that out for the day. Some days I'm not feeling the sauna if it's really hot, and I'll just jump in the cold plunge. Some days I don't feel like doing either one, so I'll do that. And then at breakfast, which is usually noon to 1, 2 o'clock, something like that, I like to try to just eat eggs if I can help it. The problem is I tend to supplement with a little bit of cheese,
Make those eggs taste a little better.
Yeah, but not, no carbs.
Right.
And so I'll eat 5, 6 eggs, usually scrambled. Can you make an omelet? I can't get an omelet right to save my life. I can't make the flip happen without flipping it on the wall. You know what I'm saying? I get a pan.
Yeah.
I put the 4 or 5 eggs. I'm probably using too many eggs. Is my problem.
Probably.
Because you have to. I don't like the runniness, so I want to flip it over. But so I try to flip it over.
You're trying to flip it before you fold it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if I fold it, then it's got the runniness in the middle. I don't like that. I like it to be. But so what happens is I brown the one side too much, and I'm trying to fold it back so I can get the extra juice on and then it gets all wobbly and wonky. And then I try to flip it, and it like splats, and then it's super thick because I'm probably making it with 6 eggs. And then I flip it, and it's just like a mangled.
Just over easy, man. Just crack the egg and eat the egg.
Yeah, that's what I should do. So then I take. So let's see if I can remember supplements. So Tongat Ali in the morning, and then it's Alpha GPC, vitamin D K3, fish oil from Carlson Labs, then a methylated multivitamin, methylated B12, and there's one other one in there that I'm missing. Oh, turmeric.
Turmeric.
I added that. Yeah.
What's that do?
That was based on my blood work. Turmeric is good for cortisol levels, supposedly.
It helps you regulate your cortisol?
It increase it, I guess. My cortisol was low.
Okay.
So anyway, there was cortisol and HDL. HDL was high, cortisol was low. Those are the only 2 things that were sort of out of range of my whole thing. So then I'll try to then hold off all day, and I'll usually snack on something like a little bit of cheddar cheese or and the thing where I've kind of been messed up lately because of all the running is I'm just dying, and so I'll go eat like a half a pound of almonds, 1,800 calories of almonds, who knows. And so I want to try to, because there's a lot of carbs in, not a lot, but a decent amount. So
Yeah.
I'll break ketosis. So I've been out of ketosis a lot. And so then at night, the goal would be to eat just a steak.
Mhm.
And usually, again, I'm having some like olives and feta or
some
something.
supplements.
Some like carnivore plussing it. Hopefully not chips or anything like that. And then I'm going to make a Snake River Farms ribeye or New York strip generally.
Okay.
And I like to try to eat a steak every other day and try to eat something else. Like
Well, what's the something else then?
it would be like just burgers.
Chicken breast.
Chicken, yeah. Used to be a lot of sausage, but I want to try to eliminate that.
Right.
And then at night, I take, let's see, zinc. Let's see, ashwagandha is something I just added. That's supposed to help cholesterol. I'm taking theanine.
Okay.
Magnesium threonate, apigenin, inositol, and then methylfolate.
So all these different supplements are there? I know you were able to get blood work done, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is
Good.
is the blood work helping you determine what supplements to take?
Well, it confirmed it.
Okay.
So none of it's hurting me.
Right.
I don't know how much it's helping me. I don't know. I could probably just get away with the darn multivitamin,
Yeah.
But, vitamin D was good. B12 was good. I don't know if you can test for folate levels, but methylfolate, it's to help with my brain,
Right.
broken brain. And that's it. So I don't supplement with any protein. There's too many carbohydrates in protein shakes. I'd
Yeah.
rather just eat
There's
it.
junk in
I'd
there.
rather just eat my calories than all
Right.
that, because in order to make it taste good, there's a bunch of junk in it.
So where's your weight at then right now?
So right now I'm at like 215.
Okay.
So now I've kind of, I was in the 216 to 218 range. And now I'm in like the 213 to 216 range.
Okay.
But it's a lot. I mean, at almost 46 years old, like every time I get in a new 1 pound range, it's hard.
Right.
It's a fight.
Gets harder to move it.
Yeah, it's a fight. And so I think it's going to take me a while to get. And so what I need to incorporate is more like 48, 72-hour fasts.
Well, the other thing too is, I mean, you're not counting body mass, right? So you're leaning down but bulking up at the same time, right? Especially you're running.
I guess according to my darn Y thing scale, I'm still like 24% body fat.
That's bullshit. You know what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Reading the energy in your feet, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't believe those things.
Yeah, I would think I'm right around 20 or sub 20 body fat.
Yeah,
percentage.
there's no way you're 24 body fat.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Because I don't carry weight in my extremities,
Right.
and so, I mean, but according to the thing, I have 50 pounds of fat.
Have you ever? I mean, they do the float test, right? Have you ever done one of those?
No. Or like a Dex or whatever they call it. But I don't really care.
Yeah.
I just like the weight because it gives me something quick that I can check and,
Yeah, but I mean, if you're trading fat for muscle, right? That's beneficial. So it's not necessarily.
I'm really not. I mean, I think I'm maintaining muscle and fat is kind of shedding.
Coming down.
Yep. And maybe added a little bit of muscle, but probably not a bunch.
Right.
Anyway, long answer to a short question. That's where I'm at. I probably talk about this too much, but it's a big part of my current existence.
That's right. All right. Well, let's vector here into something else you love. It says, Matt, what are your thoughts on Macintosh for AVR amps, etc.? Are they just overpriced, or am I just uneducated? Jason
I mean,
asks.
I like the look and feel. I've never actually owned anything Macintosh. I've never had anything. I've always wanted it. I always admired it. Always thought it was cool. I think it's inferior in a lot of ways, but it's superior in how it looks. You know, I think that it's inferior for the cost. In comparison to other things. I mean, can you really hear a difference between amplifiers? Even in that diminishing return category. I think if you can swing it, you can afford it, and you want to look at it and have it, and I think someday I'll probably do it as well. I think it's great. I mean, I love the idea of if I had biampable speakers and they have the hybrid, I forget what model number it is, but they have a hybrid where it's tube amp for the highs and for the tweeter, and then it has so it's a monoblock amp with two sort of internal structures of the amplifier, and then it's a Toroidal transformer traditional. I think Class A, maybe Class AB amp for the woofers, and so I think those amps are 17,000 a piece. You need two of them, one for the left and one for the right, maybe one for the center as well. But they're like, their home theater processor, I guarantee, is going to have bugs and problems.
Right.
You're better off just getting the Japanese Marantz, get an Onkyo or Marantz and call it a day. Because I've gone down that path too many times. Krell, I've never had a Lexicon, but same problem. The Primaire that I have sitting in a $6,000 Primaire sitting in a box somewhere in this building, it just doesn't frickin' work right. So I have Marantz processors. So I wouldn't really want the Macintosh processor, I don't think. But it certainly looks cool.
Yeah,
nothing uneducated about it.
Just depends on what you value, right?
Right. And Samiko, who is the representative for Macintosh and Sonus Faber, is awesome. It's really great stuff. Their amplifiers are really cool. I'd be inclined to do their amplifiers over their processing.
Right. All right. Well, let's go back to health here. Has carnivore diet changed your behavior by any chance, like mood swings, aggression, etc.? No,
I just feel more balanced when I'm doing it.
Right.
It's clearly not something I'm going to do for the rest of my life, forever.
Right.
At least I don't think. But it helps me. It's easy for me. I've tried counting macros. It's the only thing that's worked. I understand you'd be much better off at just living a balanced life,
right.
Eating a balanced diet of different things. And living on just meat. I don't know.
The thing about carnivore is you can do it anywhere, right? Like you can.
Correct.
I mean, you can.
I find it way easier. Just give me a hunk of meat.
Right. Yeah. You
get
a chicken breast anywhere, and get a steak anywhere, and get a
Whereas if you're
hamburger
traveling and you're trying to count what you're doing, you
right.
don't know what they're cooking with. It's easier to know what somebody's cooking with when you're eating a steak.
Yeah.
Even if the steak isn't very good.
Right.
I just find it easier for me. It's easier for me to maintain, because I don't do caffeine or any of that kind of stuff. Just even balance throughout the day.
Right. So let's talk about a little bit of product stuff. So Built Hammer, have you used any of the new Built Hammer products? Like lately?
Coruscant.
Okay.
The other day. We're going to shoot the review probably next week.
So what's your opinion on Coruscant?
It's the same old. Nothing special.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we need an iron remover, and we're buying it, so it's just easier to get it from us.
Right. And you haven't actually used Review yet, right?
Correct.
Okay. So.
And then I've said this before, but I mean, we have Surfex HD, which is an all-purpose cleaner. Help me out, guys. Where should I be using all-purpose cleaners? It's something I feel like I need to have.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
We have specialized cleaners for almost everything. So, like, what's it for, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to use all-purpose cleaner in the interior where a lot of detailers do.
Mm-hmm.
I just wouldn't recommend it. It's not the right pH. Right.
So Built Hammer's in. For those of you who want the non-OG versions of Built Hammer, they are a detailed image. So they took stock last week and they're up and selling.
Good. Yeah.
We're also working on. We've been working with Built Hammer on the Built Hammer USA website, so we'll be able to sell direct and fulfill that.
So the structure will be, you have the OG stuff, the stuff that I'm using, the stuff that I love.
Right.
That not everything makes the cut, or I don't have a spot for every product. It may be something I just don't use. So you can get that at Detail Image, or you're going to be able to get it. Just go to builthammer.com. Not yet, but you go to builthammer.com and it'll know where you're at. and you'll be able to purchase it, the entire line eventually, and then it'll just come out of here.
Right.
Is the goal.
All right, so Brian has a question on that note. So Brian says, thoughts on Stoner Invisible Glass as a general surface cleaner?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what a cleaning lady uses. I just never use that. What's a great general surface cleaner is, McKee's N914 diluted 128:1. That's a great surface cleaner. Great for stainless steel as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, invisible glass, tried and true, super simple. It's an alcohol, distilled water, alcohol-based formula that just works. It's cheap too.
All right, let's see here. So the other product note is Press-All. So Press-All container is on the water.
Mm-hmm.
We're expecting probably by end of October.
So we'll have black bottles,
bottles,
squeeze bottles, and then more stock.
More Press-All.
Yep.
Press-Alls have been selling very, very well. We're selling a lot to our wholesale partners as well, which has been interesting to see them sell those. And like Armor's buying the bottle, and we did custom labels, so they have their own branding on that, which is kind of cool. So
you guys shut me down on the whole custom label plan, right? It was a big project.
That was a big project. I'm not sure how beneficial it was for us, but they do look good. So, so you got the blue GT3 RS clean this morning?
Yeah. So the cars, I needed to put them somewhere. The rental garage I have, they're here for the next month and a half, and so I had to get them out of there. I'm like, well, shoot, I need to get them somewhere. I don't want to be parking cars outside. My Bronco's already outside, which I don't like.
Right.
So the GT4 RS is going to Kevin. It'll be there for a month while he gets the PPF done. It's going to him next week.
Yeah.
I think Mike's going to take it down there. Maybe it's the following week. And then the Evo is going to come here so that Chris, the Evo Whisperer, can fix the Evo. And so the Evo, the GT3 RS, and the M3 will stay here.
Yeah.
So that way I have my garage where I have the Tesla and the Bronco at my house. I'm not sure, when Michelle gets the TRD Sequoia, if I'll park that inside. It might be too long. It's going to be really big. But I want the space.
Oh darn, right? Oh darn.
Yeah, I want the space. And so the M3 and the GT3 RS are both clean, and now they're double covered, car cover, and then plastic over them while we're working on the garage in there. Right. The messy stuff should be done next week. So the drywall's coming together, and then the concrete cutting will be next week, and then we'll start doing the fun stuff.
So which 2-post lift did you pick out? Can you remember?
Yeah, it's a what do they call it? A quiet lift. So I think it's a screw type.
Yeah, it's screw. So it doesn't use hydraulics, right?
Correct.
And so it screws up and it screws down, and so you don't have to have any safeties or locks or anything, right?
Right, and it's built and designed to fit in a 10-foot ceiling height. It's less than 10 feet tall, because a lot of those 2-post lifts are 12 feet tall.
Yep.
And so it's 10 feet tall. It's 9,000 pound capacity, depending on the arms you put on it. 7, 8, or 9,000 pound capacity, depending on what arms you put on it. I'm having them. They make 4 different types of arms. I'm having them send me all 4 arms. That way we can
swap
video
them. Yeah,
because all they have is like some real crappy, cheesy German marketing videos, and so they're excited. We're going to kind of become the unofficial showroom. And there is one distinct, like Nussbaum has 52 different 2-posts, but this is like the distinct best one from what I understand. So we're going to have the Jumbo 9000, and we'll have the scissor lift recessed, and then we'll have the QL 7,000, 9,000, whatever, 8,000, whatever you want to call it, depending on the arms we put on it.
Cool. All right, so we got a couple questions here.
And I think I'm doing them both in the gray.
Gray?
I think it's Nussbaum gray.
Right. Yeah. Kind of that German or European dark gray or graphite.
I decided once I get it done, I'm going to call Ridetech and try to talk them into it again.
Put the door in?
Yeah.
Swap the door?
Yeah. They swap that door out.
So has the new channel layout distribution changed how the public engages, and has it seen an increase in sales? That's the whole point, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think. I think most people, the feedback I've gotten have appreciated the fact, the ones that want to see the traditional old school, Matt Mormon stuff it's just easier to get to. It's easier to find.
Mm-hmm.
I find it more enjoyable. I said I don't give a crap about the thumbnail, so I just make my own version of thumbnail real quickly, and I don't want to wait on anybody, so I just edit it, put it up myself, make the thumbnail real fast. I'd never made a thumbnail till like last 2 weeks. Never made one before, so I had to go watch a couple videos and get into Photoshop.
Once you get a little library,
yeah, super easy. So mine just aren't very good. So I just take a picture on my phone, and then now I have a little template, and I just change the wording on it and all that crap. So I don't care about titles. I don't care about thumbnails. I don't care about any of that crap. So I get to do me.
Yeah.
On the Matt Mormon channel, and each video, I have 6,000 subscribers already, and something like an average of 7,500 views a video, something like that. My solo podcast, probably because you weren't there.
Yeah, I need
5,000 people. 5,000 people, watched it
me.
over the course of the last week or two,
yeah,
or a week or so. The Garage Obsession channel, we put the second video up today.
Yep,
and looked at that.
I think it's a little slow. I don't think it's pushing it, which is the issue.
Yep. So we'll see how that goes. But make sure you go watch that video. And then the OG channel, we're starting to see, watch time increase. Right. I know you guys hate this. I hate it too. But we're doing AI thumbnails, a la, Tavares and all the other Matt Hamilton, where you do your face in some sort of expression and you do some sort of AI enhanced background.
Right.
And you don't put titles and you don't put wording and you don't try to fill it with too much stuff. But it's all looks like
I would say that
shiny looking.
The interesting thing is our views are down, right? So, and our hours are somewhat down, but from a sales perspective, we're up. And then we know that the Garage Obsession channel drove a lot of design clients into us. So we actually got a lot of new people came to us in design because of that opportunity. So that's what I see anyway.
And then I started the Obsessed Home Theater channel,
right?
Which would be the product for so the main Obsessed Home Theater channel is the Youth Man channel,
right?
But it just like Obsessed Garage. I need to make 9 JTR subwoofer videos,
right?
Just because it needs to exist for the people who are looking for JTR subwoofers. But for everybody else, you're going to get bored with 9 straight JTR subwoofer videos. And they're not designed to be entertaining. They're designed to give you the ownership experience. I own them. They're sitting in the room here. And doing so, we need a separate outlet for that. And so we made an Obsessed Home Theater channel, and I started that. So I put 2 videos up in the last couple of days. So the amount of videos I'm making is really not much different, right? Mm-hmm. But we've, instead of just putting a video up every single day on one channel, I'm putting up a video every single day on 5 channels. And so I think, hopefully the strategy works. We're going to find out.
Yeah, I think we're giving it time, right?
Yep.
And
but it so far it's worked great.
Yeah,
better than I expected.
Yeah. It's been only positive or neutral, I would say. All right. Chuck says, any stories on how you manage business relationships when you drop products because you discovered something better?
I've always tried to set that expectation up front and then get an agreement with them from them, a spoken agreement. Look, I understand. Well, it's always tricky because most of the brands I had to pitch and beg them. And then after they said yes, I'd say, no, I want you to make sure that you're aware of this. This is how I do things. And most of the time what's happened, the experience I've had, is I blew the product up.
Right.
And it becomes I'm selling 1/20th of it, and so it's like not a big loss to them. Right. Now, as we start to negotiate exclusivity, it's going to become a potential problem. Mm-hmm. But I set that expectation up front. hey, I want you to understand, what my whole MO here is: curate products, and if I find something better, I need to move on. And you're not going to be happy about this. Are you okay with that?
That's right.
And have them speak it back to me, and say, I'm gonna remind you of this conversation someday. So if you want to write it down, that would be helpful for you. Whatever you think you need, but I'm going to remind you of this when you make that call, freaking out that I've made a change. And so it's on you to make sure that you stay the best.
Yep.
It's not about how much you're paying me. It's not about how much I like you. It's about, do I like the product the most?
Right. Yep. Product's got to win for us to keep it going. Let's see here. It says, does the outdoor kitchen design include patio coverings, flooring, maybe a good sport court?
No.
Yeah, we're just doing the...
Yeah, just like everything else. I mean, I stay with a niche. What do I think I can add value? What am I interested in?
Right.
And then where was I feeling like devoid of that service or that ability to buy something?
Yep.
And then try to replicate it and make it so that I could purchase it the way that I would want to purchase it. Because the thesis has been from the beginning, if I like it, there's got to be at least somebody else that does too. And then what you've been trying to do is to say, well, there's also, let's expand that out a little bit. Just because you like it doesn't mean everybody does. But the underlying important thing is the product.
Right.
I got to love the product.
Yep. Let's see here. Just trying, I lost my spot here on the old.
Oh, shoot.
On the old comments.
Mm-hmm.
Now you really want to get rid of me.
You got good news on the meat department. Back to the carnivore conversation. Four Rivers is open now.
Oh,
yeah, right.
That is good news. House.
I'm gonna be.
Food is hard to come by here, that's for sure.
Yeah, I hope. Four Rivers is kind of a letdown, but it has been the last few years.
Yeah,
but if it's right next to my house, the standard quality
comparatively for what you can compare to the other options. It's probably...
I'm going to spend so much money there. It's going to be insane. So that'll be my every other night, right? Steak, Four Rivers. Steak, Four Rivers. Steak. I'm going to ruin it, though. I've got to try to keep it under control. Yeah, when all these restaurants open, this is why we got to make this business successful, because my family is going to put me out of business, right? They're going to be eating out every single day.
Between Provisions and...
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, Portillo's. Do they go to Portillo's a lot?
Yeah. I came home just yesterday.
That ain't cheap.
Portillo bags. Yeah. I don't like Portillo's, though.
So Spencer
It's too Midwestern vomit food for me. Ugh.
Yeah.
There's no flavor. Ugh.
Spencer asks, with the Built Hammer corrosion inhibitor products, it looks like there's ABC version.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the differences?
We talked about this a couple weeks ago. I think it's C that is the one that. I mean, you can read the descriptions. I have to go remind myself.
Yeah, basically, I think it's one of them is a cavity, like a cavity wax. So it's intended to be sprayed inside the openings of the frame and all the holes, right, to get inside, and it flows. And then there's another one that's what I would call a surface wax, right, which it's made to go on the outside of the frame or the bottom of the body, and it hardens up, so it doesn't flow as well. And I think there's like a light version and a heavy version. So that's the way I see it from an underbody perspective.
Yeah, one is like pre-paint and finish, and the other is like post, I think.
Right.
And then the different consistencies of it, but I need to dig into that. It's
not something we use. I mean, we do it on the dry side with all the dry ice stuff we do. We do similar products, but we haven't used the Built Hammer stuff yet. So we gotta, now that we have it here, we'll probably test some of that. I'll get Scott to help me with that. It says, do you use 1 or 2 towels to clean a front window?
I always have 2 in my hand, and then I generally end up using just the one. It's kind of how it works. And then by the time I get to the 5th window, then I end up using the second towel.
Right.
But in theory 2, but really kind of one and just flip it over.
As long as you don't put too much product on, it stays dry. It's fine.
Yeah, but I mean, with glass, I find more product the better. But the Ride Company waffle weave is pretty legit for doing that. Or some people like the twist loop stuff.
Speaking of Ride Company, they say see you soon. I think you're seeing them next week.
Yeah,
right?
Wednesday I'm going up to Helen. The Helen House I have a contract on. So
congratulations on that.
Yeah. I think we're waiting on one last thing for insurance to make sure he can get the insurance dialed, and then we're done. We're gonna do the title work. And it's going to be off to greener pastures. It's going to be great.
That's right.
I'm excited. I mean, it feels like the chapter. I love closing chapters.
Right.
I love finishing chapters.
Yep.
And then I start thinking about what's my next chapter.
Yeah, you'd like to open space for something new to go work on. So.
Oh, yeah. I like to sell off cars and reduce. I like to quit running, 6 days a week. I don't know. I like it took me a long time to get to this place, but I like the whole process of the obsession, the overshooting the mark, and then the opportunity that opens up after the fact, the extra bandwidth that's available. I just like that. And I used to beat myself up over it, and everybody else in here in the comments would beat me up over it as well. So everybody, the world beats you up on it. But you know what? I don't do anything normal, and so why would I do what everybody else does? I like it my way.
Yeah. Well, Ben's poking the bear with a shed update.
Freaking shed. I didn't light that thing on fire.
It says, you mentioned the OG barn in a video a few weeks back. Go on, spill the tea to the OG family.
We were talking about Obsessed Garage barns. Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah.
About making a service available where we would design build with a partner who is a national developer. And so we would design build. We would do the design. So we'd have a couple of different versions of a layout.
Yeah.
And then we'd have bolt-on modules. Like if you wanted an office, we have an office module. If you wanted a wellness room, we'd have a wellness module. If you wanted a gym and wellness, we'd have a gym bolt-on. But in general, like the main garage area would be the main garage area, and we would outfit it with, you pick the color of cabinets you want, kind of thing. You want Sonic or Russo, and then do you want them in Russo? What color do you want, kind of thing. But the lighting would be standardized. There's one best way to do things, and so we would build a platform of base garage with bolt-on modules, and then our partner would go and do all the due diligence for you. They'd pull the permits, they'd hire the contractor, they'd do all the work to make sure it was designed to OG spec. And so that's something we were thinking about, and we would do all the interior design work.
Right.
And it could be pretty turnkey to sort of help people. Everything will be chosen: door handles, lighting fixtures, and then try to just give people a solution.
Yeah, and to be clear, it wouldn't be us doing the physical structure.
Correct.
It would have our look and feel, right? We would be able to help design the interior and supply all the product, but it would be with a third party. So we'll see where that goes. We're in discussion. All right. So
and no news on my TRD Sequoia. Still shooting for mid-October. Hey, take your time, buddy.
That's right.
We just swapped the shocks. If anybody wants them, I'm about to throw them away. The
set of Fox takeoffs,
the rears that you can rebuild.
Right.
Sell them to you cheap. Just shoot me an email.
So Kurt says, can you talk about plans for Inside the Hex? It seems to be kind of fading away. We'd love to see some action in the member store and other perks, especially as Hex video frequency has decreased.
It hasn't decreased. It's the same exact frequency I've always done. I'm shooting a video today. So, I try to do, I only like to do videos on Hex when I have something to say.
Right.
And I'm shooting a video today. I just did one last week, did one the week before that. I have a couple of ideas, some sit-down Hexcast stuff I want to do. But the other stuff, we've never really done much with that. It's mainly just been a way to get free shipping and a way to get behind the scenes, information.
Right.
And so I'm going to keep doing that. Yep, that's the plan.
Let's see here. John says, what happened to buying the house next?
The one next door to Helen?
Yeah,
I must be talking about that. Yeah, I went down that path and exercised, exhausted what it would take and decided not to do it. And then, went even one step forward and sold it.
Any thoughts on Yeti buckets?
I mean, the Yeti bucket, I don't like because it's only 5 gallons.
Right. It's not big enough.
It's a super high quality bucket.
Right.
I also don't like the big Yeti on the front of it, and Yeti, you have to buy direct from Yeti. But they're nice, but I get it. And, but the same people are yelling about me being $300 bucket. Now it'd be $500 buckets. I mean, how much are those Yetis? They're like $50, $60 a piece, something like that.
I don't know.
I think
that's
so.
Not my, that's not something I'm looking at. Let's see here. Here we go. Have or will you try products like Yum Cars and Garage Therapy?
No.
That was a bait.
Yeah, he's messing with me.
He's baiting you, trying to get a rant. You've been pretty mild today. You're just a little worn out. You've been back to back to back.
Yeah, I feel pretty chill. I'm going to feel good though. I'm going to get a lot done.
That's right. Polisher recommendations for someone getting into paint correction.
I think now where we're at, I think your first polisher, if you have some funds, then get the cordless. It's probably worth it to get it, but you're talking $500 with the batteries. But I would get the Liquid Elements. I've been using the Liquid Elements 5-inch polisher almost exclusively. So you always start with a 5-inch,
right?
Because you can get like most of the car done with the 5-inch. And in some areas, you may be like a front bumpers and rear bumpers might be a little bit tight to kind of get some areas done. But the polisher 5-inch is where you start. And so if you can't swing that, then the Liquid Elements corded.
Mm-hmm.
The T4200 is the way to go. Just get that versus the A4500 is the cordless version. Yep. You start with that, and then you go to a 3-inch, and I think 3-inch. I mean, you gotta pony up the money and get the America. But now we're talking, $900, and then 1-inch would be the Rupes.
Right.
I'm working on the 1-inch Mirka. I just met with Mirka to give me, give feedback on the 1 5-inch machine that I'm working with.
Right.
The one prototype that I'm working on, not the big body, but the something that would be kind of niche.
Mm.
And I can't talk about it because I have an NDA on it. But the hope is that in the next, it's going to be a while there.
We haven't been able to shake them loose on sharing any information.
Yeah, they don't like to.
They don't want to. They don't want you guys to be part of the process.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
All right, let's see here. We got an audio question. David says, with a 2-channel listening system in a rectangular room, do you recommend putting dual subwoofers up against the front wall? Should my front speakers be inside the subwoofers or outside of them?
You said rectangle or square?
Rectangular room.
All right, good. Well, as long as it was square, it could be real problematic. I mean, the simplest and easiest best chance of having good luck would be to put dual subwoofers in each left and right corner. I oftentimes end up finding the subs inside the front stage. I had a long time famous, I forget what his name was, but audio calibrator who came, and he always loved to have the subwoofers. He always got the best results in measurement and calibration by having the subwoofers inside of the front speakers. So inside the front stage. Many would argue, no, that doesn't work. That you'd want the subwoofers at the Perlisten guys preferred to have the subwoofers at different points in the wall. So you'd have, sort of one at, you want to have the subwoofers at like not equal distant from the walls. But the best thing you can do is just put the subwoofer in there, sit in your sweet spot, and see how it does. See how it does.
There's probably some personal preference, right, or opinion.
No, what we're talking about is nulls, dead spots, and so bass is a long waveform, takes some decent distance to needs a decent amount of distance because the waveform is short and long,
right?
And so you have dead spots in rooms. And so another quick little tip, a little trick is get a long cable and then put the subwoofer where you sit and then go walk around the room with an SPL meter and find out where you get the biggest SPL number. And then you can take the subwoofer and put it in that spot. So that's another old school trick. But generally, put them in the front corners and you're probably going to be okay.
All right. So, hey, Matt. I've heard you speak about Levi's jean styles number 508, 513, and 527.
Mm-hmm.
Are those still your jeans of choice, or have you found other styles or brands that you recommend?
Yeah, I haven't been wearing them at all because I've got...
Because we're in Florida.
Well, when it cools off.
When
I first lost, 30 pounds, it was way easier to wear jeans. I'm not sweating. My thighs aren't rubbing together anymore, I felt great. And I do cold plunging. I'm cold all the time, So, but I've almost exclusively where I have maybe 2 pairs. I bought like every style of Levi's to try to figure out which ones I like the most. He explained those. But Blue Delta. So I went to my Tom James guy. Tom James is a whatever they sell Blue Delta. Right. I think it's Blue Delta out of the Carolinas, but then they custom make them. So they take all your measurements, so they tailor them, and they're semi-stretchable, but they're
how much?
$500 a pair. So I just met with them. I should have them in a few weeks, but I ordered 5 more of to kind of complete the colors that they have, like some darker, lighter versions. I love them. They're great.
For the 3 days you need them in Florida.
I'll wear them, about a month. I'll start wearing them all the time.
Mm-hmm. All right. It says, hey, Matt, I have both a CR Spotless and on-the-go dual DI tanks. When using either, the water begins to have a fishy smell. My TDS reads 190 water to DI. Is it normal for DI water to smell like this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, what you could try to do is to, to flush the tank.
Right.
You get the water out of the tank. It's from the water sitting in the tank, and then it kind of gets that funky scent to it, and those smaller tanks like the CR, I think probably does a little bit more because it's a smaller enclosure. It doesn't have as much, cubic feet of resin, and then if you leave the water sitting in it, it can kind of get kind of funky smelling. It also depends on what it's pulling out of your water. If you have a lot of magnesium, a lot of calcium, I think that the stench probably comes from maybe there's like a sulfur. You have a bunch of sulfur in your sulfur base to your water. But yeah, it's probably just whatever mix of chemicals or mix of minerals that are in your water that's causing that. Mine isn't terrible, but it's normal.
Right.
And it should be once it starts rolling, it should be that just
shouldn't
initial.
Be constant.
Right. Well, once it starts rolling, it should get.
John says, is the Krenza oil worth it, or just use 30 weight?
It's not. You want 50.
50 weight.
What was it? Yeah.
Well, we're working on a video, so we'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to use the Krenza gear oil.
Oh, okay.
5W50, I think, is the recommendation.
Okay.
It's in the manual.
Mm-hmm.
But I've thrown 10W30 in it as well
right.
if I had it sitting around.
Yep.
It's not mission critical here that you have the most important stuff. But, I like the shoot. We just talked about the Yum Yum sauce coming
right.
out of it, and things still frickin' clipping along just fine. There's hardly any signs of wear, even with water oil. So you're fine to use whatever, but I generally prefer to do 5W50.
So Dan has an AR630 question. Says installed yesterday. Works great other than it pulses or overamps with the Griots foam cannons with 1.25 orifice. I ordered a 1.5. Did you have a similar issue?
I didn't, but that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You could also, maybe you don't have as clean of a 20 amp circuit.
Yeah.
But when I used it, I think I was using a 1.5. So they don't recommend. I think their recommendation of 1.45, which I'm not sure where they're getting that.
Right.
But it would make sense that you would want a 1.5 on it. But I'm pretty sure, I just can't remember which one I tested it with. I'll give you some more data because I'm going to have two of them rolling here.
Duals in the back.
Mm-hmm.
This week was kind of interesting to me. I mean, you kind of said something about AR630 that I was a little surprised at.
Yeah, I think although it's superficial, mainly the new TSS Hot has a nickel-plated head. It has different seals in it that are higher temperature rated, which doesn't help us because the non-hot is rated for 145 degrees. Right. You're not getting 145 degrees in any house. So I think I need to use it more, but the new 630 is quieter. Obviously has more output, 2.3 gallons a minute instead of around 1.9. It doesn't look as janky. I just took apart the 630 versus the Krenzla, no question. Confirmed it. Just taking it apart, it's just much more elegant. But the new one has kind of gotten rid of the Italian jank.
Right.
So I think it may become the one for me.
Might be the ultimate. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Which is,
that's a big deal.
I just got to go. I'm sharing with you what's in my gut.
Right.
I'm not like dug in on one or the other. I make more money on the darn ARs. Margin's better on the ARs. It's always been.
Right.
And so it's like I'm not doing this. I'm not choosing the Krenz out of money. I'm just telling you what I choose for me.
Yeah.
I can have anything. I can buy any pressure washer that exists in the world, gold plated, and that's the 1322 is the one that I choose. Well, now two of them I choose. So, but I think that I walked in here the other day when Nick was taking photos. I'm like, oh man, that thing looks good.
Yeah.
It's black. Take all the stickers off of it. It's got a, what looks like stainless, but it's a nickel plated, pump head. It's not brass. So it's like looking, it's gray or silver instead of gold. And I'm like, dang.
So we need when we do the back room there, we need to debadge your pressure washer video.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah, at least some Instagram reels or something.
Invasion HD chimed in. I believe I've used AMSOIL Signature Series 5W50 in my 1322. So someone confirming. 15.
That's what I used in my original very first oil change video, 8 years ago.
Yep. Let's see here. Scroll back a little bit. Are Mirica going to have any special prototypes at SEMA or any launches maybe?
No.
They didn't even go to SEMA, Mirica?
Yeah, they do.
They'll be at SEMA?
They're going to have their new, I think I can talk about this, a new vacuum, which is pretty sweet.
Have you tried it yet?
Yeah, and I'm waiting for them to get me mine. They have it here, but they haven't released it yet, blah, blah, blah. So but they made their own bespoke vacuum from, it's a dust extractor that we're going to use as a vacuum.
So is it like a wall mount type solution?
No, it's like
around?
A Festool competitor type. And
so what's unique about it? Why is it better?
It's very much like the Flex, but more compact.
Mm-hmm.
They did some things like how the hose winds up and how the sustainer and stuff you can add to it. It sounds good. It functions well. It looks good. I mean, it's squarer and more compact than the Flex.
Right.
And the Flex I think is a great vacuum. But the Flex sells that. The Flex buys that from someone. I don't know who makes that, but there's several companies that have that same.
Something Chinese, probably.
I don't think so.
No?
It's too well put together for that. I just changed all the filters in my Flex for the first time, and that thing is just well designed, man. If you need a roller vacuum. So even though I have mine on my wall, I still need a roller shop vac. It's really nice.
Matrix says maybe leaving Krenzel will motivate them to do something new. I think that's maybe.
That's what I'm,
Mm-hmm.
hoping. I had that conversation the other day. It's not the Americans. The American Krenzel USA is ready to rock. It's the Germans. I'm like, well, we'll get to it. Same with America. We'll get to the polisher. I'm like, well, we can sell like 20 million. Yeah, that sounds good. But I got to go on paternity leave, and then I'm gonna go on a vacation, and we got to take the summer off, and then it takes us a couple weeks, which turns into a couple months to kind of get rolling again, and then we got Christmas.
If only we can find someone that has the precision of the Germans or the Europeans and the speed of the Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be a killer solution.
Yep.
Right? Let's see. Can the OG drying aid be used with traditional waxes? My brother is a wax lover and won't shift.
It depends on the wax. It sometimes will not. Any silicon dioxide spray sealant, which is the base of it, silicon dioxide, sometimes will clog up your wax and not play well, get real crunchy. So you have to kind of try it and see how it works. But I think you're going to be better off with a spray wax like Griot's spray wax, or I actually like a little bit better Optimum spray wax. There aren't many spray waxes available.
Right.
I think, is Ammo still making Hydrate or Ammo Hydrate?
Try to
I don't know if he's still making that. And Ammo Hydrate's basically a spray wax.
Paint moisturizer.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Still on his website. So.
Yeah. Now you can't buy it in gallons, which kind of stinks. I think you can only buy it in 16 ounces. It's $25 for 16 ounce. So even for me, it's pretty spicy.
Yeah.
But the bottle's cool, the branding's cool.
Yeah, you're definitely paying for the look and feel there.
Mm-hmm. But the product is pretty good. But it doesn't work on coatings very well.
A couple of guys asking about Chris. Have you kept in touch with Chris or seen him in a while?
I haven't. Michelle saw him at the Gator game, I think. He's all over the place, running around like he always has. I'm not much of a keep in toucher, but I see him running around all on Facebook. I think he's doing great. Chris is doing great no matter what.
Right.
At all times.
Right.
He's just a doing great kind of guy, So it doesn't matter.
That's why everybody misses him.
Right. He doesn't get flustered.
That's why everybody misses him.
I get flustered. He doesn't. So I'm sure, guarantee he's doing great.
So we took a field trip this week. We were down in Middleton.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty exciting to walk around with the architects. And anything you want to talk about there?
Yeah. So the design studio, we've laid out maybe not final, but the preliminary final design that we could submit for engineering and formal plans. Bryn had met briefly with who we think is probably going to be our builder, our contractor.
Yeah.
So we walked through and explained, what I wanted to do, some of the things that are super important to me. I want to be able to do functioning attic stairs. Mm-hmm. Functioning in that they come out of the ceiling, not that you're going to go up. There's no attic to go to. But I want attic stairs. We recognized I gave up the fact that we're only going to have one garage door, but that's going to save me $50,000, $75,000.
Yeah, it just didn't work with the facade.
Right, one garage door, which is okay. Wait till you see the design. If you're not inside the hex, I just shared that last week on the Inside the Hex video. It's going to be really cool. So the next steps would be they're gonna send us a proposal, and then we're gonna try to do some sort of quid pro quo deal or something with them to get the design and plans done as quickly as possible. Then we get the contractor hired. I should have my initial lease draft in the next week or two, and then we'll have to go back and forth a couple of times. So I should have an executed lease in the next month or so. Then you're going to start seeing us marketing it. You're going to start talking about it. We'll have the Village's formal announcement, which is going to hack off all the Middleton people. They're going to be so disappointed that they announced this ultra high-end, garage curated solution of, things that, people are like, who's going to afford that? They're going to be so mad. But then I'm gonna start to roll out the plan of buttering up the villager YouTubers and and doing that kind of stuff. And so we have a structure, a plan where we would start working through how we're going to start announcing this. And I've come to the conclusion that the lion's share of what we'll be installing, let's say 50% of it will be subcontracted.
Right.
So we're going to have many subcontractors. We're going to have to figure that out. But there's going to be opportunity. I picture, young guys working for an HVAC company in, Duluth, Minnesota, and loves what we do and wants to build garages.
Yep.
And he's doing well, smart, but took the trades route, wants to come and help us build the best garages in America. Can crank through a Swiss Trax install in a couple of hours because he has that skill. And I think we're going to end up having dozens of those guys pack up, come here, and build cool garages. And then eventually what I think happens, because of there is a high-end element to this with Wolf Sub-Zero, and then some of the underlying products we'll be selling. Obviously, we'll have the showrooms here that people can come and see. And so there's going to be so let's say a perimeter reach out to like North Tampa, to Ocala horse farms, to South Jacksonville, Windermere, Orlando, Lake Nona. And so we'll have some ace teams that go out and do those, $300,000 garage installs like the ones you're seeing on the Garage Obsession channel. Right. And then from there, we end up, having maybe a couple of traveling teams, or they have a job box that gets shipped out freight, and they show up on site and build the $1 million garages. And so I could picture, half a dozen young, fit, skilled guys that come and they end up setting up shop in Middleton, and their family, their kids go to high school. That's what I envision happening. I think we're also going to develop a relationship with the school's program. We're going to end up bringing some kids that love cars and trucks and
design, and there's any number of things that we could do.
Yeah. I think it's going to be really cool. So it's happening.
Yeah,
it's happening.
Big doings. And then you had a little bit of downtime over the last week because we were working on closets, right? So Mike was off putting a closet in one of our prototype closets. So
so one of our friends who agreed to, he just bought it at our cost, right? And so he was willing to go through the trials and tribulations of getting that, the process set up, and the closet look amazing. And so Mike and Trevor and Justin kind of finished up that install, and now we're working with the local guys too. It wasn't perfect. We need it to be perfect before we can turn on national sales.
Yep. So if you're chomping at the bit, the reason why we're not making it available, even though we could sell it tomorrow if we wanted to, but it's got to be delivered, and it's got to be a perfect delivery so that
they had half a dozen or so having to go recuts,
pieces missing, screws in the wrong place. So we've got work to do to make it get it nailed.
So the next closet will be here up front, and then we're going to look for a couple of other projects to go out and do, a couple houses and to work through it.
So Chris sent a $25 super chat.
Oh, nice, thanks.
He's thanking me. I'm helping him out with some support issues, but we appreciate. He's a good customer, and he's working with us to help us improve our processes. So we appreciate that. It says we need an OG UK. Yeah. It's going to be a while, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan asked about the Sequoia. It sounds like mid-October.
Mm-hmm.
But he also says, why is Sequoia over Gen 3 Raptor?
I just want to try something different. We've had Raptors, 3 Raptors back to back to back. I love the Raptor. I think we'll probably end up back in a Raptor, but I don't know. That thing's just cool. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not. Maybe it'll be Toyota boring and bland, and we'll get rid of it. But, trial, error, we'll see.
Yeah, you'd like to, try something out and then
and I wanted something, no modifying, no messing with, which I could do with the Gen 3 Raptor as well, but just leave it alone.
I think Michelle will prefer the Toyota over the Ford.
I know, we're going to see. Yep. She's not too keen on it.
The CEO says, have you seen Dr. G's video discussing his formulas being stolen?
They were talking about that last week. I forgot to go look at it. No, I haven't.
So-
I haven't seen it, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's see here. Folks are liking the new video on Garage Obsession. We did Wintercorn's garage. Turned out great. Those red cabinets were really striking. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Let's see here.
It's cool. We've covered some color gamuts here. My blue garage,
The
and
blue,
his
the red, the
yeah.
green, and
The green,
Fred's
yeah,
garage.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of colors, we got to see the mock-up of the new MSS this week, right?
yeah.
Did you go through the PDF that
Yeah.
they sent?
Yep.
What's your thought?
It's pretty freaking sweet. Yeah. The drawer face is like the next toolboxes, right? So it's the much better handle than the previous generation.
Yeah.
And then it's like a gunmetal gray drawer with a MSS plus black, like that quality of finish on the cabinet or the base. And then
There's some pretty cool accessories too. Like they have those shelf they go on top of the. I know you don't like to put stuff on top of your cabinet, but it basically goes on top of the cabinet to keep stuff from falling behind. I don't know if you noticed those.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's like a little shelf holder or shelf, walls, small walls that go on that.
Are you sure they're bringing that here? And that's not because that was the European slick.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah.
If there's demand for it, we can always get it.
Good
right?
point. Yep.
But,
Yep. So
and
we're
then
expecting
the smooth panels. I think is another nice feature.
So the back panels are, they'll
cheese
have
grater.
a pegboard option, but
Right.
we're going to bring in just the regulars, just the fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put your stuff. What's the point of having 20 feet of cabinets? You're going to put stuff in it. Put stuff in the cabinets, for gosh sakes. I understand if you're a working bike mechanic, you want your tools out, but
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're going to end up on the countertop anyway. So just
Right.
get them out, put them on the countertop, and every day put them away.
Yeah, and if you're using Sonic foams, they're easy to find. You know where they are.
Yeah,
It's no big
right.
deal.
Yep.
So Alex says, "Hi Matt, when using brake busters in a foam cannon, does it affect the performance considering it is being diluted a bit?"
Yeah, but I think if you're coated, I want it a little less
Right.
aggressive, right? And then I use it non-diluted on the tires.
Yeah, you use the sprays non-diluted, and
because it's a pretty weak tire cleaner. But
Right.
that's what I want. I just want a basic, weak tire cleaner.
Yeah.
But I find that the foaming makes the experience way better. It's high alkalinity, so it's a high pH, so it's very slick.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps with cleaning and diluting it. That's why I don't dilute it any further,
Right.
because it's naturally being diluted from the foam cannon. So I've found that it works great.
Let's see here. One more. Alex has a question. How would you compare Koshikemi GSF and CarPro Reset?
I mean, I like the foam. I like the foaming better for GSF. The pH, I believe, is still roughly 7, but it's slightly acidic. Reset has a little bit more aggressive of a soap, but you could use Reset every single time on a coating. I like having both. I don't know. I kind of like the variety of it a little bit, change it up. I feel like Reset's doing a little bit more for me.
Sure.
And sort of descaling or kind of cleaning up my coating a little bit. So I kind of do it every fourth. So 3 washes of GSF, 1 wash with Reset. I don't think it's necessary either one. You can get away with just one of them, but I kind of like having both. I can't give you a whole lot of empirical data on it other than I just like it for whatever that's worth.
The CEO says, "I just received my order of Corusol and Review. Any advice or pointers on using Review? I plan to use it on my SUV before applying ADS glass coating."
Yeah, I mean, I'm planning to use it on the machine.
Yeah.
And I think that, like most glass coatings, if you're really kind of hammering on it, it'll dry up. So you can spray water on it, I think.
Yeah.
but I'm not sure I even need that. I'm going to find out. I literally have not yet. If the bottle's sitting there, I haven't
It's
used
made
it
to
yet.
be done by hand as well, right? I mean,
Correct.
Seems like it's a more forgiving glass cleaner than what we're used to.
Yeah. So I plan on using the machine, but the guy to watch is John Forensic.
Yeah.
Watch the very first video on it. I mean, he has a pretty good. I mean, he's tried a bunch of stuff. Now I want my take on it. So I watched this video a long time ago. I purposely haven't watched it since because I want to figure it out and see if I come up with anything unique or interesting. You know,
fine detailing, saying it needs a spritz of water here and there. So
yeah, that's pretty common with glass coatings.
Yeah. A lot of they need a lot of grit in them, right? So they dry up.
I think so. And I haven't decided. I mean, am I going to be better off with a rayon pad, or am I going to be better off with a microfiber pad or a foam pad?
Yeah.
You know how's it going to work?
All right.
It's going to suck when I say, I don't like this.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with all that?
I think it's pretty. I mean, we've been working on using some of the Built Hammer content for the video we're working on, and the product seems pretty legit. So, Invasion HD says, do you know if there's a clear fluid film like spray to undercoat the bottom of your vehicle to protect from rust on the East Coast, or would you not recommend that?
That's what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. The Dynax. So if you go on the Built Hammer site, look at the Dynax options. They do have a clear. Sometimes they'll call it brown, but it's really just it's a clear waxy coating that will sort of darken over time. So that's what you want to use. Yeah, we do that a lot on the dry ice side because you can. The nice thing about wax coatings is they protect, and then you can take them off with dry ice or whatever if they get dirty, so you can refresh them. Let's see.
Yeah, versus like a spray on undercoating.
Well, when you if you use the black coatings, they just make a mess, and it's just they don't look as good. The other thing the other hot thing that's going on right now is especially on the dry ice side, is you dry ice clean the bottom of the car, and then you use Fine Lab industrial spray ceramic coating, right? So it's an industrial coating. It goes on clear. It's hydrophobic. I think I personally don't prefer it for like collector cars and that kind of thing because I don't know what it's going to look like in 10 years. But if you got Jeeps or trucks or stuff that's not really as valuable or what you want to preserve, I think it'd be great.
That stuff is tricky because there's no polishing it off on the porous underside of the car, and the dry isn't going to take it off either. So
and what's it do to rubber? What's it do to plastic?
Right.
So, I mean, it's been around quite a long time, and they use it like for farm equipment, getting it ready for sale or protecting it and that sort of thing. So it's been around. So there is some known quantity there, but it's
maybe Spencer knows. He's the farming equipment expert.
It's pretty aggressive stuff. Let's see here. When will the new microfiber towel packages come?
We're working on that. On what's the best way to do it? Do we do factory direct? So we're probably 6 months out.
Yeah, I think what we're aiming for is to have that in February, so we're ready for spring detailing season. Yep. So it takes about 3 months to get the product.
This will be the most significant, microfiber, 4.0. The change is going to be pretty drastic compared to my other switches.
Let's see, Mikey's asking, any plans to bring the blue Pressols back or just black and clear?
I think that long term, if we can get Pressall to agree to, the future of what we're planning here, then I think we'll have multiple colors. Right. All the main colors that matter: red, blue, green. And also depending on who our partners are, who wants to buy it. Maybe we need yellow for Meguiar's or something, red for Griot's. Who knows?
Part of the problem though is the colored bottles we have to buy minimum quantities, and they don't sell as well. So like we kind of got stuck with yellow. We kind of got stuck with red. So it's hard to do if we can't get enough volume out of them. Let's see. Fine Detail is asking, will OG carry Built Hammer clay bar?
Right now, Pete's having difficulty sourcing clay bar, but I was planning on it. Yeah, I think they're the best clay bars.
We had them in our order. We just didn't. They weren't available.
He hasn't been able to get them for over a year now. So something about his supplier and quality issues and stuff like that. So he hasn't been able to get them.
Yeah. Let's see here. Everybody's asking Fine Detailing about their videos. So Let's see.
That's Ryan.
Yep. Anything else you want to cover this week? I mean, we're kind of running low on questions. If anybody's got a late breaking question, you can throw it in there. But
let's see.
Covered quite a bit
what
of
else am I
ground.
working on? So I just I'm kind of at home. I'm working on kind of knocking out the projects that have been weighing on me, things I want to get done. So next week I'm getting the garage door painted, the soffit painted, the front door repainted. Just getting that done. I just
Are
finished.
they spraying the soffit? Is that what they're going to do?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
They'll just spray the soffit and the gutter, and
Right.
so it all
the
matches.
aluminum, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm going to. Let's see. I've got to finish up. So I got all the wiring done for my multi-zone speaker system, for the house.
Right.
So I've got the Coastal Source. I gotta make sure I go grab a node. I need to take a node home with me. So I've got Coastal Source pair of speakers I'm putting on the gym spot.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some PSB in ceilings I'm putting over the outdoor kitchen. So Mr. Perry's guys came and wired up all that for us, so ran all the wires for me. Cool. So I just have to terminate it. And then I put a pair of speakers in my shower. So I'm going to do that. And that's all. It'll all be Blue OS. I've got to finish. I got a dedicated 20 amp put in, another dedicated. I'll have dual dedicated 20s for my home theater, so that way I can really jam on it. Because I was kind of hitting my amplifier was shutting off, my main amplifier for the mains.
Right.
So I'm going to separate and split the signals left to right. My Mad VR, which is my scaler, was a real problem, so I needed to get a ground isolator. I just plugged it in, so it's solved. So now I need to run some Ethernet cables so I can control everything better. So this weekend's job is to kind of get my theater done and recalibrated. So then I'm going to have Jason Dustle come up with John Reformato and come and do ISF calibration with my Mad VR so I can get my TV really looking great. Once Mike's done with the garage, we'll have him come and we need to add a bunch of lights to my home theater so I can complete that project. The other thing, I just did my full second yard mastery fertilization.
Right.
My grass is
looking good.
Yeah. It's looking real good. Yeah. But I had to, and I don't like doing this, but I had to take like a whole 4 hours the other day and do the full 3-step treatment to it. Freaking
I'm gonna have to look into that. I've been fighting fungus. I got fungus right now.
And those companies that just can't do it.
They won't. They're terrible.
They're spraying some colored water on the freaking grass, and
you got to be on them, and then nobody comes and assesses the lawn to say this is what actually needs to go on the lawn.
Right? Yeah, no. So I did the soil sample, sent it to Yard Mastery, and now the app just sends me the stuff.
Terrible.
Even that, it's still a little generic, but it's remarkable how much my grass has changed. It's really cool. What else do I got to do? I've got to calibrate the downstairs system since I swapped out the AV20. I just got all the ceiling fans done for the outdoor kitchen, so that's all dialed. I mounted all the remotes on the wall, so I didn't put switches on them inside. I just terminated them all, put blank plates, and then I did all, the 4 remotes, got those all lined up and nice. I want to do a wash and talk on the Bronco this weekend. What else?
Did you get springs on that yet?
No, I need to.
You got to get that down.
I was waiting. So the Raptor's done.
Right.
That's fixed. And then I want to get the Evo fixed. And then
you got too many cars.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your car idea? Did you talk about that last week on the pod?
No. I'm gonna do an Inside the Hex video this weekend for sure. So that's something it's been on my mind for a while. About what am I gonna do here? How am I gonna do this?
You're not gonna do it, but that's all right. You can talk about it.
About changing my car plans.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Lots of discussion in the chat about are you the number one tool gritter in the world?
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
No question. Yeah. Yep.
Some guys like Pan's Coatings. You haven't tried that, right?
Yeah, I have no interest.
It says no mountain bike content in a while. Gee, I wonder why. You actually have to ride. You actually have to ride a mountain bike.
Should we ride this weekend? Should we get back on it?
I'm not here. I'm going to Houston tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Now that I'm ratcheting back my running, I think
you get back to on the bike.
Yeah.
That's good. That'll break up your running and give you the same benefit.
Next week it'll get me remotivated because I'm going to be up in the mountains riding,
right.
so I'm going to be pumped.
You'll come back
all pumped. Yeah. The thing it sucks is though I got to ride my heavy bikes there. I've got the base, non-fancy version of the bikes.
Jeff's got a good question. When will the smaller tool sets be available? Need to start building a better set.
Like any day.
Like
right?
a couple weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. So I talked to Nick. I actually talked to Nick about that before coming in here because we're working on the video schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And we expect to have some of those sets coming in next week. And
because I want to tool grid them up front here.
That's right. Yeah, the intent.
So we'll have some videos on that.
Then we'll use the showroom and get them tool gridded. And
Yep.
Yeah. So those are coming.
And then I'll probably need to retool grid them again in the Sonic MSS stuff.
Yeah.
We'll see. MSS.
I thought you're going to put them in the. I figured you'd put them in the Rousseau, right?
Right. Yeah. Because that's right. The MSS is going to have the
Mhm.
bespoke MSS.
Yep.
Tool system.
Yeah, and you're working on that, right?
Yep.
How's that going? How's that process going?
I haven't started, but I got the catalogs out of the drawer, so I got a few weeks, and I've gotten a good base of. I've got a lot of stuff done already. So I'm going to bring everybody up to speed. I'm going to be doing a full Matt Moorman suggested bespoke master collection of tools, and then we're going to do 2026 is the year of tools
for Sonic.
Correct.
Right.
So we're going to try to roll out and do different drops and do one drawer at a time so that people can sort of start to build their system of tools. And then we'll kind of give people guidance on what drawers those foam inlays fit in if you don't have the Sonic stuff. But we'll be pitching you. You know what you should do? You should give away your cabinets and get yourself some Sonic MSSs because it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think they're going to be killer.
Yep.
So, Matt, if I install QD soap injector on my 1322 TS before my reel and put a soap nozzle on the OG gun, would it work for foaming or not recommended?
Sure. It's just crappy foam. You have to drop it down to 500 PSI for the Venturi to take effect. And so the foam just isn't great. I mean, it'll be real watery. It'll work, but that soap injection is more like to add chlorine, to the mix to, clean your driveway. So it's not going to give you foam like what you're hoping for.
Mm-hmm. So Steven says the local detailing store just got stocked up on Built Hammer.
Nice.
Presumably from us. Yeah. I think he's probably talking about VDS, which is in California. So I do know they bought kind of a range of the product. So yeah, going over. And
what about did Josh go through with it? Josh V, is he doing his store in California, San Diego? I know he was reaching out looking to buy some.
Yeah, I gave him some options and I haven't heard back yet. So
gotcha.
Yeah. There's quite a few. We've got a couple in California. I just talked to some guys in Vegas this week. We obviously have Detailed Image up north. San Antonio, I've talked to folks. So yeah, we're trying to find those guys that have local stores.
Mm-hmm.
And can buy quantity, right? So
if you have an online store and you have some value to provide, well, hit us up.
Yeah, we're not afraid of online either. But we're happy to get all of the Built Hammer stuff out there for everybody. Let's see here. John says, any recommendations on how to air condition heat a rental garage? Presumably that means something you can take with you, right?
Yeah, that gets tricky. I mean, it'd be pretty easy to do.
Just open the door to the house, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's generally what I do is insulate the garage door.
Mm-hmm.
Just do something simple or get our insulation solution. You'd have to leave it there. I had one rental in my life.
Yeah.
And I spent some money on it because
if you get the pleasure
stuff that I
out
could
of it.
take with me.
Yeah.
I was there for a year and a half or so. And so I took the stuff with me. I mean, shoot, Yarn Building was a rental garage,
Right.
and we totally modified that thing. That's a little different when you can capitalize. You can take the loss in a business than a person. But yeah, I mean, I'd be inclined to insulate the door, get yourself the Ego fan, and then open up the door to the house and put the fan in the doorway so it sucks the cold air out in the garage.
Yeah.
Do that early in the morning and then, come out maybe a couple hours later and the garage will be nice and cooler.
Right. Bearable. Yeah.
Maybe you need two Ego fans, one on you and one in the doorway. Or if the garage is small enough, it can solve both.
So have you used any of the Quiver products?
No, it's in that same. It's all coming from the same spot, It's those guys are selling to their audience something that's decent. I don't live in the decent world. I live in I want the best.
Right.
And so the belief of almost everyone is that you can just kind of reverse engineer it and you can have a good result and have a good product. And, all the products are the same anyway. And so that philosophy is, you make your own brand. But you're going to have to, Josh and Pan, and they all have to compromise, and I think they understand that. And I think they've been, somewhat transparent on that.
Yep.
But I have no interest, zero interest. It would take me 15 years to come up with a freaking detail spray. And it still probably wouldn't be better than whatever I'm using,
And you wouldn't have had traceless and touchless and all these crazy products.
Right. So, but I mean, one could argue, well, Pete is one of the best chemists in this game.
Right.
And then, I'm sure McGuire's has some great chemists, and CarPro, the chemist in Korea that CarPro and Geon are using, and I could get a hold of those guys, and even then, I'm not using, every CarPro product. Some of them are great, and some of them are decent. And if you're okay with decent, then but
the best companies have more hits. But they still don't have 40 products that are perfect. Right?
Those you're not beating CarPro in a product line game.
Yeah,
there's a reason why there's not a single. Ammo's been doing it longer than any of these guys, and there's not a single product. I mean, Hydrate was like a game changer back at that time. Yeah. But you just have to. I'm in a different business. I'm in a different world, and my world is non-compromise.
Right.
I'm looking for the best I can get my hands on. Now, sometimes the best still needs improvement. I think Cox hose rail still needs improvement. I think press-all bottles still need improvement. Yeah. But I need it. I need something. And so I'm living now in the best that we have.
Yeah.
And then I'm hoping to improve, over time.
Continuously.
And then we'll punt. It's kind of hard to punt when it's your product.
Right.
I'll punt because Drying Aid really isn't my product. I'm not pretending it's my product. I just had to put a name on it because I couldn't use their name.
Right.
I wanted to ask them. I want to call it Slipstream. They said, no, you can't do that. I said, well, I got to come up with a name with it. You need to take the color and scent out of it, and we'll call it OG Drying Aid. Talk about terrible branding, right? You need to call it, something cool, like magical, Obsessed Garage Magical Elixir or something stupid,
So Mikey's asking about replacement for Cree lighting. Maybe just to let you know, if you're looking for linear lights, so if the website says we're out of stock because it's Cree is our listing, but we do have linear lights that are probably better than the Cree lights. So just contact the OG design team if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, and they're like 4 weeks out.
Yeah.
4 weeks to deliver.
And, Tommy and Nick were working on a full redo of all the lighting options, right? To clean that up and get stuff that can be in stock that you can get. And we've found some really good suppliers. So that's going to improve here greatly in the next month or so.
And then once we have some stock of this coming in, then I'll probably swap all mine in my garage.
Yeah.
It should be a big project, but we're going to get the garage done, and then we'll swap them in both garages.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's kind of the end of the questions.
Yeah. I feel good about it. We're an hour and a half in anyway. So anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I will probably do a podcast solo, or maybe I'll grab one of the Rag Company guys when I'm in Helen next week. Yeah. And I'm going to vlog it. And so I'll have an Inside the Hex video.
I think we should put a poll. We should put a poll up that says, you do it on your own, and then that way I don't have to do this every, Friday with you.
Yeah. Maybe I should. It'd get you out of it.
There you go.
All right. Anyway,
they want Chris back. Maybe you can get Chris to come back just to do the podcast.
He probably would. Yeah. He's probably too busy now. He's got a job. So anyway, make sure to go subscribe. Matt Mormon channel. I just put the video up. What did I just put up? Polishing the Tesla. And then so funny. Some guy, he commented. It was a pretty nice comment. It wasn't like disparaging me. Maybe he's new or something, but he said, Matt, I think you'd benefit a lot from getting some training in polishing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was like, well, who am I going to get trained? If I'm that bad, I'm screwed because I've been trained by everybody.
Right.
Mike Phillips, Todd Cooperrider, Jason Kilmer, Andy Ward.
Yeah. You've taken like the classes too,
G-Technic,
right?
So Jim, when he was head trainer of G-Technic. Let's see, who else? Jason Rose, Dylan Von Kleist. Let's see. I polished with everybody. I polished with, everybody who's polished at some point, not everybody, but I polished like with a lot of people. And, I'm not a professional, so I don't do it for a living. And so there's efficiencies that you gain from that. But I can frickin' polish. I don't need to be trained. So it's so funny. I thought that was funny.
Tesla bros are calling you out, huh?
No, I think this was a detailer,
okay.
saying, I don't know, maybe he's watching how I'm moving the machine or something like that. He's like, you could really improve your process. I'm sure we could all improve our process, but I know what I'm doing. That's one thing I'm confident on. And a younger me would have gotten all mad, and I said, I know what I'm doing.
Right. He's poking at you.
I just thought that was funny. I thought it was okay. All right. Yeah, you got me. I'm just a YouTuber.
That's right.
I don't know anything about audio, video. I don't know anything about polishing. I don't know anything about products, I'm not your average YouTuber, bro. So come on over. Let's do it together, and I'll prove it to you or not. Let's do it. I've always thought a good video series would be pros versus Joes.
Yeah, right.
The pro versus the pro detailer versus the YouTuber.
I think a big difference was just going to be speed, because pros have to, they've got to work for a living, right? And they got to cover more ground.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope that a good now a lot of people have this belief that just because you've done it for a long time means you're good.
Sure.
You can just do it terribly for a long time. But some people that have like a blue collar artistic ability, with the machine and the ability to wield the machine, I'm certain that they're, like when Billy from Presidential and I do it together,
right.
He has tens of thousands of hours, maybe several 100,000 hours on a machine,
sure,
and has developed the technique and then has an innate sort of natural ability that's better than mine from the beginning, like a blue collar brain to hand ability that some people are just born with. But as far as like the simple, I think also a lot of people believe that they want to believe that it's more complex than it is. But there certainly is skill that you can develop.
Yeah,
over
I mean,
time.
a lot of it's just knowing what to look for. Right, I mean, just looking at stuff
for sure, and some people
see it.
Like watching Jason Kilmer, and look through the polish into the paint. Like,
right.
When he's sanding, he has so that like a different level of artistic ability. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. But go to the Matt Mormon channel, subscribe, watch that.
Yeah.
Go to the
new Garage Obsession videos. So
go
watch the Balance Bay.
Yep. But anyway, thanks for being here. See you next week.
Thanks.
Or not.